year one was just a bunch of drop shippers. Year two was probably just the early movers of established brands. And now there was a ton of established brands that we talked to, but still not even on the platform. But to your point, like they were saying, how do we get on the platform? And this is why we're here.
You need to build those relationships. It's so important to build those relationships. And that's what we found being at the summit and realizing like, we're in the top 10 agencies. I got to go to lunch with the top 10 agencies, which was really, really great.
The level of leads and support we get from TikTok has increased dramatically because it just shows them that you can handle bigger brands.
Parker, we just got back from LA, the TikTok Shop annual summit. I think this is like the second or third one. And I just want to start by describing what this room actually felt like and what it was like to be down there, because like the vibe was electric. What do you think?
Oh, I thought it was awesome. Each day was kind of a different vibe, from day one being the seller, so all brands and some amazing brands, and then the partner and then creator with day two. So each one was kind of like a different vibe, but also just so high energy. And yeah, it was such a cool 3 days.
Totally. And the brands that were there, it was just absolutely unreal. What it really felt like to me was like, man, TikTok Shop is not just this like channel that people are just trying to ignore. I think for the longest time, so many brands wanted to ignore it. And the TikTok Shop Summit, we're going to go through, guys. There's some huge stuff that we're going to talk about today. You're going to want to stick around until the end because we have so many updates that Parker and I need to go through for brands, for creators. You're going to want to stick around for this entire thing. But it definitely was not a room full of people asking, like, should we actually do this, right? Everyone in the room is asking the same single question.
How do we just grow and scale?
How do we grow?
Should we do this? It's how fast can we do this and how fast can we grow? So I think this has only been the third. I couldn't imagine, because I didn't go to the first one. I know we knew a couple people that went to the second one. How it's evolved just in 3 years is incredible. And there's still so much growing and getting evolving in this space. Like I'm sure year one was just a bunch of drop shippers. Year two was probably just the early movers of established brands. And now there was a ton of established brands that we talked to, but still not even on the platform. But to your point, like they were saying, how do we get on the platform? And this is why we're here. There's still, even the early mover, like D2C darlings that we talk to, which are known for being the fastest movers, they're still getting on the space. So I think
just
the next
figuring
2
it
years
out
is going to be insane.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice new shirt, by the way, Parker. Love it.
Merch.
We have a full new merch program at Social Commerce Club, new SEC. If you guys are listening to this one, sweet new notebooks. I love a fresh notebook. Like I think you've actually gotten me into the loving new fresh notebooks. So if you're a client of ours, expect it. Look at these notebooks. Look at these notebooks.
I just finished this one, and I keep them because I like to go back and look, and I'm like, I wonder what problem I was trying to solve like 2 years ago and how small it was, but how big it felt in the moment. And it's kind of this like nostalgic diary I go through.
I love it.
But I literally just finished one, and I was like, I need another notebook, and then the merch came in the mail.
Amazing. Let's go through a couple of big things here. So number one, we won 2 different awards, which I want to talk about because it says something about where Social Commerce Club is positioned exactly. For any of our clients that are listening to this, just so you guys know, we are actually, in the top of the top right now, which is awesome. Hey Dude won Breakthrough Seller of the Year. We really built that program together. Which is really exciting. Some of the TikTok people came to us and they're like, we're so mad that they didn't say anything about you guys. I'm like, oh, we're good to be in the background. We're good. Don't worry. Yeah. We'll talk about it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's such a big year for Hey Dude. I mean, and they're also just getting started. Like they're such early, them and Crocs, like seeing the movement of this channel, and with I think it was Terrence at the kind of head honcho chair. Like he knows the power of social commerce coming from Stanley, so it makes sense that they're winning like Shop of the Year or Breakthrough Seller of the Year.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we won Partner of the Year in Fashion, which is massive, like absolutely massive. It's funny to think about too, like for those of you guys who are like just kind of new to Social Commerce Club, new to Parker and I actually owned 8 different brands over the years, and most were in apparel. So we know apparel very well. Sometimes though that doesn't necessarily translate like down the company, but somehow this has. Another thing too is TikTok actually announced what their formal tiering system actually looks like. So certified, bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. You should definitely ask. So if you guys are watching this and you're starting to work with some kind of partner, just ask like, where are you? Can you show us where exactly you are? You guys can probably guess. Yes, we're platinum. So really, really good things to actually see. Why should a brand actually care where their agency exactly is, Parker? Like, does it actually matter? Does this tiering system matter? What's it based on?
So it actually matters a ton. So one, it's the like internal reflection for TikTok of where you're at in the stage of essentially their grace of where are they at in terms of levels. So we've seen as we've increased our badge and our ranking, the level of leads and support we get from TikTok has increased dramatically because it just shows them that you can handle bigger brands, as well as the benefits increase dramatically. You get higher up partners, you get connections, category managers. TikTok is such a partner kind of driven organization.
Dude, totally. It's an all who you know kind of org. So like for brands listening out there and agencies, I know a lot of agencies, you guys listen to this too. You need to build those relationships. It's so important to build those relationships. And that's what we found being at the summit and realizing like, you know, we're in the top 10 of the top 10 agencies. I got to go to lunch with the top 10 agencies, which was really, really great. It was only, they only allowed one of us to go from Social Commerce Club. Well, I punched Parker in the face. I don't know if you can see, like he's got an eye. No, he's like, Jordan, you go. And I was like, no, never mind. Yeah, I'll go. Sure. And it was incredible to talk to TikTok Shop leadership, the other agencies that were in the space. Just unreal. Let's talk about the numbers here. TikTok Shop decided to put their numbers on display, which is crazy. So creator-driven sales up 200% year over year. Enterprise brand sales up 97% year over year. E-com search intent on TikTok up 133% last year. Here's the crazy thing too. Brands over $10 million in revenue on other channels actually saw 76% year over year growth on TikTok Shop. What do you think?
Oh, the numbers were insane. There's 2 that kind of stood out for me. One, the search intent was it really popped for me because it's everything we preach. Like that's why we built Halo. That's why we build for omnichannel. Is consumer journeys are changing. I see it every day in my household. Whenever I'm seeing somebody go to TikTok, they discover a product because somebody talking about it. Then they go to the search bar, search for that product, get more reviews, and then go to Google to maybe go to the website.com or their shop, and then they're getting retargeted on Meta. Like this is just the ecosystem of omnichannel and touch points increasing. So TikTok being our thesis is it's at the peak of demand generation.
Totally.
And this also enforces that. Like people are searching for products. People are getting creative served to them and then going, oh, I want to get more creatives related to this product. So search intent, I thought was massive, and it kind of just echoes what we've been screaming into the void of like, this is the demand generation channel. If you crack this, all the other channels really reap the reward and benefit of it. So that one really stood out for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just this, it's such a massive ecosystem. They talked about their campaign calendar, which I thought was great, showing off their campaign calendar to everyone. I actually saw a lot of posts on LinkedIn from people sharing slides that were there. There was some slides I was like, let's just keep this to ourselves. You know, like there's some stuff that's like a little bit internal. We're going to tell you guys kind of everything here because again, this is meant for people that are interested in the space, our clients, our team, right? Our team continues to grow, by the way. We're just incredible people. Always around 70-ish now internally. Is that right, Parker? Somewhere in there. Luckily, Parker has to deal with them all, and I just have to deal with Parker, which is great. TikTok revealed the full calendar, and no surprise, they just continue to pack promos in. What is your advice, Parker, for brands that are looking at these promos and wondering whether or not they should be a part of them or not?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to participate in every promo, but it actually does have a substantial benefit. So you can even see in the stat that they provided, I think you just said it was like 76% of SKMs or anybody over 10 million in revenue seeing massive growth on the channel. That's because the SKM program is part of the internal program and push.
Yeah.
So if you play to their internal programs, it produces a reward. They give you bigger reach. They release so many constraints for a cold start brand. We met with TikTok. We had a dinner. We're like, what do we focus on? They're like, just focus on our internal programs. Their biggest initiative is SKMs, strategic key merchants. Essentially, if you're an established brand doing 10 million and above on one platform, or if you're a celebrity brand, those are kind of like the two main.
That's the other big part too. And there's so many celebrity brands coming out now that don't yet have a ton of sales, but TikTok wants to support you. So if you know of a celebrity brand or you're working with one on another platform or you are one, TikTok wants to support you in whatever way they can. Yeah. The best way that they can do that, just so you know, is through agencies, right? Through Project Horizon, which is basically them telling everyone, like, hey, here's what we care about. We want to get these massive brands on the platform. We are helping agencies do that. There's a lot of incentives for agencies to do that, to create these win-wins. And so we're really excited about that. I think right now we're leading Project Horizon, which is kind of fun.
Seems like it. There's only like us and one other agency that they're actually telling us that is following, because they're the hardest brands. Cold starts are very hard. It's insanely challenging. So I think somebody on stage even said that is, if you just cherry pick the easiest shops, which essentially are the ones that are up and running and driving GMV, yeah, that's easy. But how you actually scale from an agency perspective is doing the hard thing, which is getting brands that aren't on the platform launched and scale. And also you have a client for life if you get them on the platform, scale, and get rewarded. They love you for that. So do the hard thing, and you will get rewarded from a client perspective as well as from a TikTok perspective.
Yeah. One quick aside here, Parker, you're getting married this year, is that right?
Yeah.
I love how I ask, is that right?
Yeah, in August.
And tomorrow, heading to a bachelor party.
Yes, I will. I think this is Vegas trip number 4, but this one's a little different than the other 3 we've been to. It was like Hermosi conference, then the last 2 conferences, Shop Talk and MDS, and now this one's a little less business, more fun, pleasure, even though those ones are a lot of fun still.
Let's talk a little bit about the campaign calendar here. So we have all of these different events. So going into April Stock Up, Memorial Day is Gear Up, Summer Turn Up, School Must Have, September Stock Up, Fall Deals, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Holiday Haul. Those are like some of the bigger sort of ones, but throughout that, there's all of these little ones. This is the compounding lever that most brands are actually not using and that they are completely missing. TikTok is telling you when they're going to be spending money to drive traffic to your store. Be a part of all these campaigns, guys. If your agency isn't getting you a part of these campaigns, come and work with Social Commerce Club, because this is crazy. This is where they're spending the money. This is where the river is flowing. Build your creator programs, your blitzes, all of that around those windows, right? And that is where compounding comes from. So I wanted to make sure to get that out there. Any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I was just going to echo that goes hand in hand with our strategies internal of when to blitz, or just other moments when to blitz, right? We always say your calendar should be driven by marketing, or the marketing should be driven by the calendar. When there is moments, that's when you put marketing initiative behind it. They are giving you additional moments that you can incorporate into your company. So you can plan out your moments. Every e-commerce brand has one baked in massive moment every year. Q4, Black Friday.
Yeah.
How you don't have peaks and values is arbitrage moments. Create moments for your brand. We know a bunch of brands that have just done this. Oh, our product goes really well with the founder. I think there's a really great story of a founder being an ex-veteran, and so then Remembrance Day, they created this massive moment, product drops for it, and it became their second peak of the year. TikTok is handing you more moments to create more peaks and new customer acquisition tools.
Yeah.
And then if you coordinate your blitzes, you're then spending your marketing money and theirs to just soak every drop out of that lemon.
Yeah. Yeah. Something shocked me on screen, and we looked, you, me, Cam, who's our head of TikTok shop, we all looked at each other and we're like, oh, we're sharing this slide. This is crazy. This is something we have figured out a while ago, and probably why we're one of the top agencies out there. So TikTok put a slide on that shows what it actually takes in people power to run a TikTok shop properly. And drum roll, please, this is going to shock you. Store management, between 1 and 2 people. Product management, between 1 and 2 people. Creator and affiliate management, 1 to 2 people. Content production and lives, 1 to 2 people. Ads and campaign management, 1 person. This is 6 to 9 dedicated people minimum. Parker, walk through what we're doing at SEC and like how this works with what we're seeing there.
Yeah, I mean, we have 6 people in a pod, exactly. So it's their slide. You almost copy and pasted our pod structure. So we just titled them a little bit different. So we have a sampler and recruiter, and then a community manager. So that goes to like those 1 to 2 people organizing the affiliates and outreach and sample approval. Then our strategists, we have a lead strategist and even an associate strategist at times. That's kind of like your campaign coordinator, setting the strategy, the goals. We also then have a media buyer. So that's that one person running the campaigns and media buying. We then have a designer or product page manager. So that's that store management, designing the actual product pages. And then we have a compliance/ops specialist. So that's the second person on store management. Any flag SLAs, which might be jumping ahead, but that's another update that they just released, is previously your shop score was graded off of violations. So when you had violations, that's when it decreased. Yeah. Now it's just this ever-ending cycle of analyzing your shop and then adapting your shop score to it. So you have to have now even more compliance around it. They are just compliance police TikTok shop, which is great because it's just their way of removing non-established brands. So I totally get the mission, but just not having ops specialists per pod is crucial now. It was like a nice to have before, and we always had it. Now it's a need to have.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the big things that we're tracking right now. So we recently had a brand internally that's probably going to do $1 million this next month, and 0 4 months ago. Like, just an incredible case study. And I
think
chatted
actually 1.5 this month.
No way.
Yeah, I think they're beating last month. If I know who you're talking about.
That's great. I'm actually talking about somebody else.
Oh, yeah. We just have too many case studies. Now I know who you're talking about. Yes, they will do $1 million this month.
Yeah, which is just absolutely wild. And one of the things I asked the strategist that's running that account, I was like, what are some metrics that you're tracking that you don't think other people are? And he's like, well, we're religious about tracking shop score every single day. And something that I've noticed in our Slack channels and our Roam channels and all of that like we're tracking that shop score because it matters so much. There are certain levels of shop score that unlock different things that you can be a part of. Like, it really does actually matter, your shop score, in a massive way. So like, get your orders out fast. Become a part of FBT if you can, potentially. Like, that's a fulfilled by TikTok. Really, really big deal. Anything else to add to that?
Fulfilled by TikTok, it's another one they're pushing. So again, as they push these incentives or these internal missions, if you abide by them, you will get rewarded. So I don't think they openly say it, but if you go into FBT, there will be a downstream effect in your shop of like reach, potentially better CPMs. They definitely do a badge partner. So they give you that, like similar to the Amazon comparison. So they tell customers that you are involved in FBT, so it guarantees better order SLAs.
Yeah.
So they do that promotion externally, but I'm sold internally that they also do like expanded reach and give you favorable CPMs.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Of course they do.
They could do anything behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So, it was, the FBT push is massive, as well as obviously the all these acronyms, the SKM, SKPP, strategic key product placement.
Dude, you want to get into that? The strategic key product pool is what the last P is. Yes. The SKPP, strategic key product pool. Yeah. Can you articulate that for
yeah,
people?
it essentially they're giving expanded reach on certain products. So in the Explore page, they're giving more reach and more discoverability for these products. Essentially, you most likely will have to be an SKM to unlock that for your product. I think it would be very rare to just get a product approved for that and you not to qualify as an SKM, because there's just certain you have to hit certain marks to qualify for that. So you have to have this hero product that's sold a certain amount of units off platform or in platform, and then it just gives you more. Your products will get easy to discover. You can get unlimited creator outreach. You can just get a list of benefits when your products get into there. And we've seen
They said 200x. Just so you know, they said 200x more reach. Not 200%, 200x.
I heard somebody talking, another agency, like just this kind of goes to show how much benefit there is in the SKM and SKPP pool, when you qualify. They were like, yeah, we have this case study of bringing this shop from zero to this, but they were SKM and SKPP, so that's kind of unfair. Like that's how people are like, oh, it's a case study, but they're in the SKM pool, so it just makes it so much easier. Like that's how people are talking about it, and that's how much it unlocks, is people are saying that their case studies aren't as good if their brand qualifies for that. And I'm like, I don't get that. I will brag about every case study, even if they're in that pool either way. But that's how unfair advantage it is. So if you do 10 million and above on Amazon or .com and you want to be on TikTok Shop, I would make that the first step of getting it into TikTok and saying, get me approved as an SKM.
We have a goal at Social Commerce Club of driving $1 billion of revenue. It's supposed to be in the next 3 years. I am now saying in the next 12 months that we're going to be driving $1 billion of social commerce revenue. And I don't think it's crazy. That's the wild thing. Like, I want to give brands listening to this a very, very clear takeaway. The summit made something incredibly obvious for a lot of people that are still not acting on it. What was it, Parker?
You tease it out for me. I don't even know. Is it SKM? I'm on the edge of my seat now.
The worst. The brands in the room that were there were not debating whether or not to be on TikTok Shop, right? They're talking about how to get to $1 million per month faster. That is the room now, right? And next year it's going to be, how do we get to $10 million a month faster? There will be that will be the norm on this channel, and it is wild to think where we were 2 years ago, and the gap between that room and the brands, like kind of looking at the channel and still running tests and still working with little tiny agencies who charge nothing, and so they're like, oh, we're just going to test it out with these little dweebs. No, you are making a huge mistake. Don't do that. Stop doing that. It makes zero sense. Guys, Disney just launched their first ever pre-release on TikTok Shop last week while we were there. Number one, I'm really mad that we didn't get that account. We never got the chance. I'm very upset about that. Just so you know, Parker and sales team, it is a failure on all of your parts. Yes. But just kidding. Kind of. It was the Muppets collection. It was an early access exclusively on TikTok Shop before it went anywhere else. Disney, guys, Disney. Parker, talk me through some news coverage that we got this last week.
Some news coverage. Yeah, we had Modern Retail do a pretty amazing piece on our good friends over at Portland Leather Goods. Even though they got some facts wrong, they said it was in 20 days, but it was actually like 11/12 days that they went from up to $1 million in GMV. So that was really. It's also becoming insanely important. Like, we're having our clients like Hey Dude and Crocs, their parent company, with their public filings and their public quarterly reports for the stock market, and social commerce is mentioned like 10 times for why their growth is. So there's like retail PR, but then now even like publicly traded companies are starting to drop TikTok Shop and social commerce as being a leading indicator to why sales are increasing. Just wild.
It's crazy. I want to end. Oh, sorry, you got something else?
I was going to say, the one nugget I would say to everything that you just hinted at is like brands asking, how do we get to 1 million? I think that's actually like such a lagging question of how do we get to 1 million? I'll give you a nugget that we've kind of unlocked internally. The question isn't how do you get to 1 million? The question is how do you get to 1,000 and 2,000 videos? Get to that threshold as fast as humanly possible, and the lagging indicator will happen, which is $1 million in revenue. Get to quantity. Get to quantity as fast as possible, and that's what we're really good at. So, little nugget.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll dive into that one in another one, just so you guys know. We're just going to throw that out there, but we are seeing some crazy correlations between videos posted and everything else good. I want to end with something brutally honest, because I think that the summit can feel like a lot of hype if you're watching from the outside. The brands that are winning are not winning because of budget. There's a ton of brands there that do not have these massive budgets here. They're winning because they've figured out the system, and that's the exact same thing here, right? Content volume, creator relationships aligned to the calendar, right? Running as a strategic key merchant, that helps a ton, right? Working with an agency that understands all of this is crucial. The system is learnable, but you have to run it. That is the biggest thing.
I just read an interview with, I think it was Bloom Nutrition, and they're such a believer of social commerce and that it drives, and they have very little analytics to prove why that's the main driver, but they know and believe it, that they're spending less than 10% of their advertising budget on Meta, which is usually 80 to 90% or 70%. And in the minority on social commerce, they're spending majority, and it's one of the fastest growing brands because like everything else follows. All our creative collection, all our demand, our Amazon sales, our Google sales, it follows social commerce.
Same thing Neurogum said.
Yep.
Right? Same thing so many brands that have gone hard on this channel understand. And if you're still looking and you're like, I don't know, I just don't believe it. You know, all of ad spend still happens on Meta. It's like, absolutely. Absolutely. And this is the transition piece right now, right? This is the time that all of this stuff is transitioning. And if you do not figure it out now, if you're an agency, if you are a brand out there and you have not figured it out yet, come chat with us at Social Commerce Club. Go use our forecast tool, right? We get like so many downloads of that forecast tool. I always get notified. I'm like, can I turn these notifications off? Go to socialcommerceclub.com, look for our forecast tool there. It takes like 5 minutes. And take a look and see what a forecast actually looks like. You're going to lose money at the beginning, just FYI. Yeah. You're going to lose money. We'll probably talk about that in another one. Any parting words, Parker?
No, I think it's exactly that. It's less about your P&L per channel, and it's more about your digital enterprise and your P&L that way. We're not saying go be unprofitable, but the brands that are like, I have to turn a profit day one, I think it's a broken mentality. If you were a brick and mortar retail store and you wanted to launch a website in e-commerce, you wouldn't say in the first month the e-commerce store has to turn a profit. You got to develop a website, you got to develop fulfillment. This is the same thing. You're opening a new channel, but this channel has so much net benefit. So go into it, give it at least a 3 to 6 month roadmap, and that's where you'll start feeling the profit really kick in across your entire digital enterprise. Amazon.com, social, etc.
Yeah. Love it. Thanks so much, guys. We will see you on the next one.